Good evening. Gotcha. Good evening. Welcome to the Cowra Council General Committee meeting, and we'll start at 5 o'clock. Thank you all for coming, and in accordance with the Local Government Act, Cowra Council is recording General Committee and Council meetings. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded on Tuesday morning. By speaking at these meetings, you agree to being recorded. Please ensure that when you speak at this meeting that you ensure you are respectful to others and use appropriate language at all times. Cowra Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this meeting. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we gather, the Wiradjuri people, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Attendance, councillor apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. We have Councillor Judy Smith, and we have a late note from Councillor Delbo, who will join us shortly, we hope. So we also have the apologies from the General Manager, Paul Devery, Director of Operations, Dirk Weimer, Director of Corporate Services, Michael Jones, and acting in those positions, we have Larissa Hackett, Director Larissa Hackett, Pip Childs and Ken Apps, all present and accounted for. Everyone else is on holidays, so we wish them well. Councillors and staff, please indicate in relation to any interest you need to declare what report item you are declaring. Oh, sorry. Move and second the attendance and apologies. Cheryl and Nikki, Councillor Downing and Councillor Kiss. All in favour? Disclosure of interest. Councillors and staff, please indicate in relation to any interest you need to declare, what report item you are declaring interest in, whether the interest is pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and what is the nature of the interest. And Councillor Delbo's just arrived. Excellent timing. So we have, so will go around the room? We'll go first off with Councillor Smith.
Yes, I have non-pecuniary interest in item 4.2. I have a direct relative who is immediately adjacent to the DA. I will leave the room.
Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Ms Mayor. I have a minor non-pecuniary interest in 4.1. The applicant is a teacher of my child at school, and one of the submissions is from one of my volunteers. I will remain in the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss. Councillor West, have you had any? Councillor Downing.
I have a non-pecuniary interest in item 3.1, which is the donation to Cowra Public School spectacular event, as one of my sons is a teacher there, but I will stay in the room.
Councillor Wright.
Declare a non-pecuniary interest in item 3.1, the donation to Cowra Public School spectacular event, as my wife is organising it. I shall leave the room.
Thank you. Councillor Watt, have you any?
I'll pull over. Yes, I would like to declare an interest in item 4.2, pecuniary interest as a family member is involved in the application.
Thank you. Councillor Delbo.
Thank you. Yes, I do. I declare item 3.1. Although I'm employed by the Department of Education, Cowra Public School is my workplace, my base school. I'm also the PNC president, so a pecuniary interest, and I will leave the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for. I think that'll work. Okay. And I'm going to declare an interest in 4.2, as the applicant is a neighbour. The application is on neighbouring property to mine, so I'll be leaving the room. It's a non-pecuniary interest, but I will be leaving the room. Okay, everybody, bared our souls. So, to address the fact that Councillor Smith and Councillor Fagan are leaving the room because we have non-pecuniary interest in 4.2, I'll now move that we ask Councillor Bill West to take over the chair at that time, and I need a seconder. Councillor Kiss, second that.
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
Will we still have quorum for that item?
We will. It was just worrying for a minute there when everyone was declaring interest, but we do have enough. So Councillor Smith and I, and so I need to put that. Everyone in favour say aye. Thank you very much for that. Okay, a public forum. We don't have any speakers, no registered speakers for this meeting. So we'll move on. Confirmation of the minutes of the General Committee meeting held on 11th September. So somebody move the minutes be accepted. Councillor Downing, Councillor Kiss. Thank you very much. All in favour? The Director of Corporate Services, 3.1, the Cowra Public School Spectacular on page 17. We're not mucking around. Yep. So do I have a mover?
I'll move that we accept the recommendation and donate the $2,000. There's been, I'll move that.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Do I have a seconder? Councillor West, thank you. Would you like to speak, Councillor Smith?
Just to say, there's already been a donation to another school in the town for exactly the same reason, for exactly the same thing. I think there's a precedent being set, and I can't see why we wouldn't do it. We've done it for one. I can't see why we wouldn't do it for both.
Thank you, Councillor West.
Concur with my colleague, Madam Mayor, and it's an opportunity to provide support for school children to extend themselves and get great experiences in the world. So I think it's something council should be looking to support and fully recommend it.
Thank you. Anyone else want to say anything? If that's the case, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Thank you very much. Carried. So 3.2, would you get the councillors back in the room, please? It's going to be a bit in and out tonight. We're up to page 23. Thank you. So we have the recommendation is that council note the investments and financial report for September 2023. So do I have a mover for that? Councillor Smith. And a seconder? Councillor Kiss, thank you very much. Is there any discussion? Councillor Smith, would you like to say something?
Just to note that we're up around 5% now on our investments, which is great. Providing you haven't got a mortgage on your house, it's wonderful to see the rates up a little bit. And I also note that the rates are coming in at a very similar amount as they have been in previous years.
Thank you. Councillor Kiss? Anyone else like to comment? Councillor Downing?
Just like to note that there's quite a substantial amount in repayments that have been organised for the rates, and just let any of the community know if they're struggling to come and talk to the staff and make arrangements so they can get them paid.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? If that's the case, write a reply. Those in favour? Oh, thank you very much. Now we move on to 4.1, the development application for 17 Walker Street, Cowra, DP 599492. 2 additional dwellings in a 3-lot subdivision lodged by Currajong Proprietary Limited. So do I have a mover or a second? Move to Councillor Delbo. A seconder for that? Anyone want to second that? Councillor West? I think it's fine. So, Councillor...
I'd like to move an amendment that we defer it until the main meeting this month and that we do a site inspection next week.
So, Councillor what? Councillor Wright. Councillor Smith has moved that we defer the matter until the council meeting so we can do an inspection prior to the information meeting next week. Is that fine? You're going to second that, Peter? That's an amendment. So do you want to speak to that?
It is a battle axe block. It's hard to get in and have a look. Driving past, you don't get a good idea. And I almost got out and walked in, but I felt I was a trespasser. So it'd be nicer if we could arrange an official visit, I think, so we know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. Councillor Wright, would you like to speak about?
There is a few minor adjustments to the where it doesn't apply to the DCP, and they've been explained to us how they would. But before I make my final, I'm not speaking against it. I just want to see how it all going to lay out. It's going to have the existing 5 storage sheds where they've made an application for them to be the DA for them to be continued the use of. And if that's approved, how how people get in and out of them and don't disrupt the other residents in the three other houses on the block. I'm just interested in how it all works and look at the physical conditions of the block. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else like to comment? Councillor Delvo, please.
I was prepared to vote on it tonight. I thought that the report in front of us addressed, in fact, I thought it was an excellent report. There's 22 conditions placed on the development application. I thought it was an excellent example of three organisations working together, that being council, the applicant, and those that have provided submissions. It was able to find solutions for those that provided objections to this development application. And I wanted to congratulate those that came forth with their submissions and the applicant for working. Oh, hang on. Yes, for the applicant for working through it with solutions. And yeah, I was prepared to vote on it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Delvo. Anyone else like to comment? Councillor West.
Yeah, thank you. I was happy to second the Councillor Delvo's motion, and I tend to agree with what she's saying. But I think that on the other hand, the flip side, and I'm not sitting on a barbed wire fence, but on the other hand, that if this is deferred only till the council meeting directly, then there's nothing is lost. I see nothing in this report which indicates we should be refusing it at all. And Councillor Delvo's comments are right. But in terms of being well documented, well assessed, most of the issues that were raised have been well and truly covered and covered very positively. So I acknowledge that. But if council's mind to just have a look and satisfy some of the curiosities prior to making a final decision, then I'm not going to think that it doesn't really in my mind, doesn't really defeat the purpose or gain a great deal. But if council is prepared to want to have a look at it, then we're happy to note the report and it'll still be dealt with at the council meeting.
Yes, that's right.
I think Councillor Smith's wording about the May council meeting, we need to make sure that it clearly says at the October council meeting.
Yes, we've got
I
that in the
think
minutes.
that was his intent, but
It was.
the word may
Was.
have just been
No,
confused.
it will be definitely dealt with. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, I was again agreeing with Councillor Delbo too. I was quite ready to vote on this tonight. However, I understand the potential could be valuable to go out and actually have a look at the properties, and I'm quite happy to support that. Look, I did want to in particular applaud the applicant for reviewing their stormwater considerations. I did note that their decision is to actually go over and above what the engineer had originally recommended and said would be quite sufficient. And I believe that they did that in order to ensure a more healthy neighbourly relation. And I just wanted to applaud them for their efforts in that regard. Thank you.
Great. Any other comments? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Or the amendment.
The amendment. All those in favour? Which becomes the motion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? As the development application. Okay. Thank you. Great. Now I'll hand over to Councillor West, who's going to run the next item. Are you going to bring your own?
Thank you. We have, thanks, Councillor Delvo. Item 4.2, which is DA 83/2023, Tramina Lane, an application for a dwelling which has been assessed. So I'm going to move that or something differently. Councillor Kiss happy to move the recommendation. Councillor Delvo happy to second the recommendation. Councillor Kiss, do you wish to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, look, there were many issues required for consideration in this particular DA, including the transmission line easement, buffer from the Cowra meat processors, setback and vegetation buffers. So I think they had to work quite creatively in order to determine where the house was going to be placed. But I do believe that there's sufficient justification, and I'm satisfied that there's been the variations are necessary and quite workable. Thank you.
Councillor Delbo.
Thank you. Through the chair, I support this application. I must admit, at the beginning when I read this, I had a different view in the sense that the width of the buffers didn't meet our DCP, and being zoned in RU4 primary production, I felt that there was a reason why we have buffers around properties, especially those that neighbour agricultural areas, and in this case we have a vineyard around it. However, as I read the report on page 181, my concerns were addressed, and in particular where we found out that the vineyard has used other technologies afforded to them to improve their application and performance in the agricultural industry, and then also that we've had other other residents in that area with changes to the DCP boundary limits. So with that, I also note that there were no submissions received from of complaint from any of the neighbours, and therefore I support this application. Thank you.
Further comments? Right reply. Put the recommendation. Those in favour, declare it carried. I invite Councillor Fagan back into the chamber, please.
Okay. So we're up to 4.3, page 100, 300. Oh, what number is that page? Thank you. It doesn't have it on my little list. 241, the development application number 782023, 1642 Belmore Street, Woodstock, a transportable dwelling judged by Currajong. So we need somebody to move that. Councillor Kidd. Second up, Councillor Delbo. Excellent. Thank you. And Councillor Kiss, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, look, I can understand there being some concerns. It is the most basic type of house. However, you know, it's out in the village. It's not unattractive, and it's certainly not different to what's out there in the streetscapes. I don't feel that not having the window at the frontage of Belmore Street is going to be to any visual disadvantage. And in fact, I think that the windows and the doorway to Kirkman Lane are actually quite attractive as well. So, and I believe the building fits quite well in the block. Yeah, I'm quite happy to support the DA. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Delbo.
Through the chair, I also will support this DA. It has 17 conditions. Looking at what is located around it, it is of similar type of structure going there. It is a large block and zoned RU5 village zone. One objection was received, and I feel that the applicant has addressed the concerns where possible, and I support this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? Not write a reply.
Just a quick
yes,
question.
Councillor Wright.
They've had to put the house in a different way because the block's not wide enough. Does that still fit the basic plans for temperature control and so forth?
Through the chair, yes, it does.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Anyone else like to comment? Councillor Kiss, write a reply. Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. Excellent. Now, we have any late reports? None. We have no notices of motion? None. Is there any urgent matters for motions without notice? Okay, well, I will declare any confidential matters. Nothing that we don't have to speak in confidence about. Well, I'll declare the meeting closed at 5:21, and I think that's nearly a record.